It's a red rubber band, all too familiar to lots of us.
Britain's postmen and women have dropped hundreds of thousands of them on our pavements, and it seems stretching everyone's patience.
In fact, Keep Britain Tidy are so fed up with them littering our streets, they've started a campaign to stop them being dropped. They want postmen and women to pay an on-the-spot fine of £80 if they're caught. Well, here's Dickie Felton from Keep Britain Tidy. Good morning, Dickie.
Good morning.
400,000 red rubber bands on our pavements. Really?
Staggering.
How do you know there's that many?
The pavement plague. Unbelievable figures, really.
But you haven't counted every last one, is it?
We haven't. I think that we obviously look at litter every single day, and the figures we have is that red rubber bands are on 6% of all our roads, which doesn't sound like an awful lot, but really it's a kind of hidden litter, really, and it gets dropped in people's gardens, people's paths, in the flower beds. So certainly from our point of view, it's the litter issue, but also they do pose a bit of a danger to animals too. So cats and dogs can potentially try to eat them and almost swallow on them.
Right, well, Royal Mail denies the problem. They say of the 342 million rubber bands used every year by postmen, God, that is a lot, isn't it? The overwhelming majority, they claim, are reused, but it only has to be a fraction, I suppose, to have an impact. But they do say that any found on the pavement have been dropped by accident, as they have a habit of just flying off, and they say they'd like to apologise to any customers affected and reassure them they do remind staff to avoid dropping bands, and they also add that they're biodegradable and rot away naturally.
Well, that's what they say. Our postbag has been absolutely bulging with letters from people complaining about this issue, which is rather taken us aback, really. People obviously feel quite strongly about it. I think that we realise it's not the most offensive litter in the world. It's not pizza strewn across the pavement. It's not a horrible cigarette butt, but it is still litter.
But that's. I mean, there are much worse litter issues to be worried about, and shouldn't that be your priority rather than just worrying about things which I mean, I know they're irritating if you see them on the ground, but to be honest, it's not the biggest deal in terms of litter.
Well, yeah, exactly. But for us, it's important to get the litter issue on television, in the newspapers. It's what people are talking about at the moment, and if we get to talk about fast food litter and cigarette litter through rubber bands, then that's absolutely fine. I mean, we have launched our biggest ever anti-litter campaign, which is called the Big Tidy Up, which is seeing thousands of litter picks take place nationwide. So we're actually getting people to go out, pick up litter.
That's great, and everyone can do that. If you've got 5 rubber bands, it's not so hard to pick up on your front doorstep. But what about this issue of on-the-spot fines? I mean, you're asking people to say, excuse me, Mr. Postman, I'm going to ask you for £80 because you've just dropped a band. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to work, is it, really?
If you or me drop litter, we would really expect to be fined. I mean, I think at Keep Britain Tidy, we don't want anybody to be fined. We just want them to not drop litter.
I've never heard of anybody being given an on-the-spot fine.
Oh no, some have.
Yeah. Really? I mean, last year there was 45,000 people prosecuted for dropping litter.
But who's going to prosecute? I mean, you know,
it's local authorities prosecute. Right. And I think that we're seeing more and more councils taking this issue seriously. So people really need to watch out. They shouldn't be dropping their crisp packet on the floor.
Right. So let's just address then. And I want to get 2 emails in because they've got tips for what you do with your rubber bands. But what do you want people to do with them if they can't make use of them at home?
If they can't make use of them at home, by all means send them to me at Keep Britain Tidy. They can find all our address details on our website. We're going to collect them until the end of April, so people have got until the end of this month. And early May, we will bounce them all back to Royal Mail.
Right, and get a response. We'll speak to you then.
You get a big ball together then, will you?
It could be a world record, maybe.
Oh, we should have you in. I use these as cycle clips. When I go, I have them in my drawer and then I just use them as my bicycle clips. Other people are saying that they make great, if you can't get a lid off, then you put it round your jar and get the lid off like that. So they do have some uses if you...
Many uses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just don't drop them on the floor.
These were collected from around the breakfast offices, so I don't know how many there are in there, but we thought we'd get your collection going.
Thank you very much.
You can have those, do what you want with them.
Cheers.
All right. Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Thank you very much for keeping our streets clean.
Coming up, BBC News Channel has the latest news from home and abroad. There they are.